All right, welcome back to Sweep the League, not the radio show, but the podcast. We're back on podcast now. Rudy Campos Jr., The Rock, Rocky Garza, Mark Stats himself, Derek Gervin on hiatus for this week. He'll be back with us next week. And the man that makes it go, Shamaya on the beats. Gentlemen, it's Wednesday night. Oh boy, the playoffs. We've got to get into some NBA playoff talk. The Mavs stayed off. They didn't get eliminated. They saved off elimination. Was it just a typical, hey, Golden State's going to let them win that one so they don't get Russ being out for like 2.5 weeks? We'll get into that. Right now, Miami and Boston going at it. We'll get an update here on the score in just a little bit. NFL Pro Bowl talk, man. I mean, we got to be honest, any type of all-star game, with the exception of MLB's all-star game, it's really just not worth a shit, to be honest with you. So we're going to get into why the NFL may want to get rid of the Pro Bowl, which I think is a great idea, or maybe revitalize it, make it, more modern or something like that. I don't know. They got to figure something out. Not only that, we've got the return of Spurs Cheeseman. We don't have the sound effect, I don't think, but we will work on a sound effect for the Spurs Cheeseman segment. All in all, that's what we're getting into here on Sweep the League. But before we actually get into our topics and all of our shenanigans, major prayers for something that happened yesterday out in Uvalde, Texas, which is really like 80 miles from where I live. Technically, it's like 90 miles from San Antonio. There was a senseless act yesterday at an elementary school. And for myself and all the guys here at Sweep the League, I'm going to give them an opportunity to say what they want about it. We're all about trying to live a great life. And we're all about, fun and everything here. But we also know that life happens, and a senseless act like this is just terrible. I still trying to wrap my head around a lot of it, being that I was thinking about this. I'm the only guy on this whole staff that has a child, I believe, right? Am I mistaken on that? I don't think Derek has a kid.
I mean, that we know of, right?
Yeah, I mean, that you guys know of. I mean, there could be a kid out there. Rock might have like 5 kids out there somewhere, but we just don't know. But nonetheless, just knowing that I've got a little girl who's the same age of pretty much a lot of, not all the victims out there. My little girl's 9. It really hit close to home. And yesterday, actually this morning, just, dropping her off at school was completely different. Being at work, just not being able to concentrate or anything, it's a very tough thing. And I know, like I said, from all of us here at Sweep the League, prayers out to the families and the victims out there in Uvalde. You have our hearts, you have our sympathies, our condolences, our prayers out there, guys. I'm going to give you all the floor. You can say what you want to say on this subject. I know we don't normally get into it. We offer condolences, but again, I want to give you all the platform that y'all have here for it.
Yeah, Rock, you want to start?
Yeah, man, it's a real hard subject. Like you said, prayers for them. And although I don't have kids, I shed a lot of tears, and it's not even important to say that guy's name that did it. It's important to make sure we remember the kids that it's just sad that they didn't know it was going to be the last day. And it's a horrible act of tragedy. Although, like I said, I don't have kids. I have a lot of siblings, and it was hard for me. And it's just, as much as we can pray, this needs to be changed, and it's ridiculous of what's been happening. I just don't know what else to say to that subject at all, but it's just a real hard subject.
It's a very tough subject.
It's a real hard subject, man, and it's just so tiring of, like, me personally, I never had to go through this, and I know it's been a thing for a while. Yeah. And just not knowing if my siblings are going to come back every day is really scary, and having to comfort my parents, it's just hard on me because, I'm essentially like a father figure to my siblings, and I just hope there's going to be change, man. And it's just ridiculous of what's been happening. And I'm glad that everyone who's been using their platforms been speaking out on it. I just really hope these senators do something about it because it's ridiculous, man. I mean, we're just tired of it. We're tired of living in America like this that's going through these senseless acts and normalizing it. I mean, as ugly as it sounds, it's just a cycle, and people are going to possibly forget about it, give it 2 weeks maybe, because maybe we're going to be talking about, I mean, God forbid that, another shooting of some sort. And it's ridiculous. I understand that, some kids are going to be out of school, and the people are saying, well, that'll mean that there'll be less school shootings, but we shouldn't think like that. We shouldn't go through every school year thinking, all right, well, here come the school shootings, man. It's not like it's the flu where it's seasonal, man. School shootings shouldn't be seasonal. And I'm just really hoping, as much as people say they want to rid the evil and blame, I don't want to get in politics and stuff, but they blame mental illness and all that. But it's to that, and along with other issues that I personally can't change, but I can speak out on it. And we need to make sure we all come together and get a voice to speak out of it and make sure and hold those people accountable to get that change. Because I mean, Rudy said, man, I don't want anyone or any of my friends, family to have their children disappear on them the next day. But my heart's just full of love for all those kids, man. And I'm just praying for this family.
Yeah, it is. Mark, you got anything you want to add to the?
I mean, Rocky, you did a really good job of just kind of summarizing it all. But, it's just my condolences go out to the families and the souls of those kids. For something like that to happen to just innocence and just like such a young people, who just had their lives ahead of them, and just something just like that can happen. It's very sad. And ultimately, I just hope that we get some change out of this. Just for people to kind of look at, hopefully to be able to empathize and like look at the lives lost rather than, so to speak, like the political aspect of things. You know what I mean? It's more than just sides here. To me, it's more just about change, and change does have to come. And it's sad, but I think we're mentally exhausted by all this stuff when it does happen, because like Rocky said, okay, now we're almost getting that mindset of, okay, when's the next one going to happen? It's almost like we're anticipating it. We're expecting it. And that's not good. And we should never get comfortable with that. And people aren't comfortable when it does happen again and again, but we should never have the mindset of, okay, when's it going to happen next? So that, just mentally it messes with us, and it's just not a good thing to be able to have to say that,
Yeah, and I applaud you guys for commenting on it. Like I said, it's something that we just trying to keep it a lot, sports related here, because everybody wants to have a getaway, and the getaway it's a hobby. It's something you do. Sports is something that gets your mind off of everything in the world, but more than ever when it's so close to home. I mean, we're talking, hop, skip, and a jump away for all of these few people here in San Antonio, people that have, family in Uvalde, and people who know, like myself, I know people in Uvalde, and, luckily the people that I know, I mean, they weren't affected by it, I guess, internally pretty much, within their family, or the immediate family is what I'm saying, but they knew people that were affected by it. And just hearing those stories was tough in itself. Before we move on, I did want to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of people, but like I said, Shamaya's on recording here or with us here. Shamaya, I don't know if you had anything to add. I didn't want to leave you out on anything. But if you don't, that's fine as well. I just didn't want to leave you out on the conversation if you had something you wanted to say.
No, I'll just keep it short. This is a situation where it's unfortunate. And, we had a supermarket, and then we have this. It's not easy to take in, you just trying to get over one event, and then boom, you got to go over another event. One thing I have to say is really just people got to vote and use their voice. And if you want change, you got to take action.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've never been one to talk politics or anything, and I'm still not the type of person to talk politics at all. It's just, I see too much of a lot of stuff going on, so it's tough to talk about it. But one thing is for sure that our prayers are with everybody out there, the families that were affected, the victims, the kids. And I agree with everybody on the panel here. I mean, everything that they said is 100% in agreement with me. So definitely shout out. Not a shout, but definitely prayers, like we said, for everybody out there. But I did want to make a couple of shout outs. There's a couple of people that I see, and it's tough because all of us on the show here are media. I mean, in some sort of way, we may not be on television. We may not be, big time radio stars, but we've done our fair share in the community. We've covered games. We've got an event coming up this weekend that we're going to be covering. We've talked to athletes. We've talked to people. So in some sort of way, all of us in this panel are considered media, sports media at that. But a huge shout out to Lee Waldman out there for KSAT 12. She was the first person I saw reporting on this. And I saw her go through so many emotions as a reporter, being out there, watching the kids and watching the parents, being one of the first reporters to see the look on parents' faces and reactions on parents' faces when they got the news. I can honestly say that is a job that I definitely could never do in my lifetime, only because I would literally break down. And there was a couple of times I think she almost was close to it. But also to Sweep the League's own Chelsea Torres. I mean, she's been out there covering it as well. Also Sweep the League's friend of the family here, Sweep the League, Jose Arredondo as well. I mean, sports guy Jose's been out there. So big shout out to you guys out there in Uvalde covering the story and providing all the updates you can. It's so tough. It's almost like being in a war zone without actually being in a war. And, kind of makes a little sense because you're seeing all this happen and unfold, and it's sad. It's a very sad and trying moment. So shout out to you guys in the media out there doing y'all's job and providing the updates. It's tough and we respect the hell out of you. But moving on, we're going to get into some sports talk here. And we're not going to really cover right now too much on the Miami-Boston game. It's going on right now. We'll give you an update here, but I want to hit up first. You got the Warriors up 3-0. Mavericks come out, and there, I kind of had a feeling Dallas would come back. Dallas would at least get a game in here, send it to go back to Golden State. Did the water leaking have anything to affect this outcome? Probably not. I saw somewhere on Twitter how a Golden State Warrior fan was saying that, you're delaying the game and it reminds them of, when the Spurs cranked out the AC as it broke down and LeBron got hurt. He was hurt and cramping. So the Mavericks had to pull out the stop and, how do you say that you're having a bad thunderstorm, the roof starts to leak? It happens. I mean, I don't buy that at all. Nonetheless, Golden State's going back. They're going back to Golden State. Golden State, took the L, whatever. I think it was actually a good thing. I mean, in a way, it's kind of bad because you give the Mavericks a little bit of glimmer of hope, like a slim glimmer of hope. But it's actually a good thing because you don't want to be out 2-3 weeks just resting while this Boston-Miami series potentially goes 7 games. I mean, figure go 7 games. That's another maybe 5 days right there. Then you're going to get a week off for the finals. So roughly 2 weeks off before you actually play again. Guys, I'm sorry to rock on this one. Rock, with the Warriors losing, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, I think it's kind of good that they lost so they don't have to be out so long. But again, you want to slam the door on your opponent without giving them any kind of hope.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's a good thing because, that rest factor, you always see it every year when teams, enter the finals just fresh, been off a long rest, and dude, they just stink it out the first game, and that one team that's going in 7, they've been grinded out. They may be tired, but they're still in game mode. I mean, you're still in the survivor mode. You're taking that to the next game. Sometimes you can be in survivor mode. Sometimes maybe you're just mentally so worn out, you just don't have enough gas to finish the mission. But I think it is a good thing. I kind of figured, like you said earlier, that the Warriors were going to lose. There was no way the Mavs were going to get swept. I predicted the Warriors were going to close it out in San Fran or Oakland, as I can say. But, I mean, because this series of the Heat and the Celtics, it's probably going to go 7, man. I mean, at half right now, it's 42-37, and it's tied 2-2. So nonetheless, I mean, you're easily getting 6 games. Still, the Warriors may be getting a chance if they finish it off, but it will be interesting, man. If y'all were kind of talking about it earlier, touching base, if the Warriors lose again, Mark had mentioned, what if the Warriors blow a 3-0 lead? No one's ever done that, but who's known to blow leads? The Warriors are, and that would
we can't really see that happening, can we? I mean,
no.
With the way NBA's been lately and the parity around it, I mean, that could happen, but I doubt it unless Luka just puts out another godlike performance and then the Mavs just turn in, to the Monstars and just ball out. You just see former Spur Davis Bertans drop 30 on the Warriors, but nah, man, I don't see them, doing. I see that being competitive for a couple, up to the third quarter, and then I just see the Warriors just blowing them out, and we're watching the reserves play around like the halfway through the fourth quarter. So.
All right. I got it, man. I got it. Same thing, Mark. I mean, it's kind of weird because I'm like, well, I don't think that we're going to see the Warriors blow, a 3-0 lead. Is it possible? Anything's possible. I mean, let's be real. Anything's possible, but I just can't see him blowing that lead. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that the Warriors actually lost this game?
I don't think it was a game they had to win. I mean, whatever, maybe the guys go at 90 or 80% instead of 100% in that last game. Dallas has more to play for. They're in front of their fans. They don't want to, go out with their tail in between their leg. They want to put on a showing in their home stand. So I wasn't surprised that the Warriors lost this game. Kudos to the Mavericks for getting the nice little blowout at home in front of their fans. But this series is wrapping up in San Fran. Game 5. The Warriors are going to go to the finals. I know we joke about, the memes of the blew a 3-1 lead in the finals, but they're not going to blow a 3-0 lead. There's just too much talent on the Warriors. They're really well coached, and they just have all the confidence in the world right now. Steph is looking like Chef Curry. Poole's looking confident. Clay's looking confident. You got guys like Looney, getting 20 rebounds and balling in the paint for them. They're getting help from all over the board. So the Warriors are going back to the finals, I think.
Does this discredit Kevin Durant's championships? Even more?
Yes.
I was waiting for Shemaiah to say something. That was my biggest thing there. I fight with myself on that, man, because as great of a player as Kevin Durant is, if the Warriors win without him, then does it mean that those titles that he won with them, does it mean like he basically just joined the team just to get a couple of dubs in there?
I mean, I imagine that's why he joined.
Hell yeah.
Go get those rings, form. He knew what he was doing. He's forming a super team with him. Of course, this is Clay before the injury. But I mean, even that team was really good with the star power. But if memory serves me right, they didn't really have as much depth as this current Warriors team does now.
No.
This team right now has not only depth, but young depth and guys who haven't even reached their potential yet. And that's why I'm very curious to see how these guys pan out on this Warriors team going forward. With me, at least with Durant, the Durant team, I thought Durant was the most important piece on that team. He had to ball, he had to have a good game. He was the tone setter on that team. And that doesn't take anything away from Steph, but Durant was easily the most seasoned and most mature championship player on that Warriors team when he was there.
I mean, you're looking at guys on the Warriors squad. You're looking at James Wiseman. You're looking at Moses Moody. You can even throw Jordan Poole in there. I mean, he's only a few years in the league. Kuminga. Gary Payton the second.
Shout out to Looney, man. The dude.
Looney.
Dude looks like he's going to pass out on the floor.
He looks like Lurch, right? from like the Adams family.
does.
Is that who it is? The Adams family?
Yeah.
No, the Adams family. He looks like allergic. I don't know. He looks like he's moving around and it just hurts to move whenever I see him play.
He looks like he's about to collapse.
Yeah. I mean, but you're right. The youth on this team is ridiculous. But if you're thinking about, okay, so Moses Moody was, one of the better players coming out of that draft, along with I believe it was Kuminga, that draft what he came out with. I mean, you're looking at Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody, and Jordan Poole. That's a damn near a starting five on a young squad, on a young team somewhere else. I mean, those four guys are starters almost anywhere. I'm kind of like, wow, this Warriors team. It just reloaded, and if you think about it, it reloaded through the draft. Something that Spurs fans need to understand is you can't just go out and get a Zach LaVine or a DeAndre Ayton. Yeah, it'd be nice because you can insert them and they'll plug and play right now. But the Warriors built it to the draft. Now, first, for granted, the Warriors had, top picks, way top 3 picks or whatever. But you've got to build to the draft. I mean, it's important to build through the draft. I mean, you're right, man. That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. The depth on this team it's sick. I mean, you still have Andre Iguodala that comes off the pine. Mm-hmm. Even Toscano Anderson, can put up some points pretty quickly there for you. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I'm sticking with the Mavericks. I'm gonna stick to them till the end.
You're bold, man.
I am bold because I picked the Mavericks to go to the finals. And you know what? Until the fat lady sings, it's not over. It's 3-1. It's probably going to be 4-1 after this. And, it's lights out. But if the Mavs sneak in and get, this next game, Warriors fans, you think they should be worried?
No, they got opportunities to seal the deal.
But you give that little team a little bit of confidence. I mean,
yeah, but the Mavericks' lack of star power is going to catch up to them.
Oh, okay. A better way to put this is, does it depend if the Warriors end up losing Game 5? Does it come down to the simple fact of how did they lose? If they get blown out, then is it time to worry a little bit? If it's a blowout, I think
a
so.
little bit. Yeah, if the Mavericks blow them out, then on their home floor, yeah, I think there's a little bit of worry that should seep in. And Steve Kerr should remind them. Should that happen, Rudy, Steve Kerr should be up in their faces after that game and be like
breaking another clipboard or whatever he did like that one time.
Yeah,
it won't happen. It won't happen.
You don't think they'll get blown out, Shemaiah?
No.
So you're saying if they lose Shemaiah, it won't be a blowout?
They won't lose sleep.
They're not going to lose it. Oh, lose sleep at all. Okay. I'm getting what you're saying. I get it.
There's more pressure on Luka because he has to really show up every game. Because if he doesn't show up, then the Mavs have the bigger risk of losing the game.
Yeah, it's all about Luka, man, and that's Rock's boy.
Yeah, I mean, props to Jalen Brunson. Yeah. That dude has really shown that he is something in the league, though. I mean, I know a lot of people. It is Luka's team. Don't get me wrong, but they've got some pieces on there, and that can really complement him. And Brunson, especially this season, has shown that he's more than capable of being a sidekick.
Yeah, there's 2 things I want to touch on. I just think coming in Game 5, the Mavs are going to come out with their backs against the wall, and they're going to come out swinging. Like I said, Luka, you're probably going to see Luka just going on a tear, and it's going to be a back and forth game, man. I mean, you could see, Mavs maybe enter the half up, the Warriors chip away, and then the Warriors just run away with it in the fourth. Because I mean, you're playing against the wall, so you're not going to just give up so easily. But it would be interesting if the Mavs somehow did pull a dub out. But going back to what the KD thing is, do you think this Warriors team, given how we've seen them play, could still beat the LeBron-led team in the finals?
Okay, repeat that again.
Do you think this Warriors team would beat LeBron in the finals when they instead of KD, the KD team, the Warriors team? Do you think this Warriors squad would be able to beat LeBron in the finals?
The Cavs squad. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, the Cavs squad. Yeah.
Okay.
Are we talking healthy Cavs with Love, Kyrie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Cavs.
I'm going to take the Cavs only because I think Kevin Love is that difference maker. I really think the Warriors are doomed if someone, if the center position or a big man comes in and just goes off on it. That's been the Mavs' problem. They don't have an inside presence. I mean, there's no way the Warriors beat the Phoenix Suns in this series because Aiden would have a field day. And I know Looney's putting up, some pretty good stats, and I know he's balling. But who the hell is he balling against? Kleber? I mean,
yeah.
You're talking about Kleber and Aiden, two different types of players. One can dominate the inside. The other guy can dominate in spurts. And that's where I think the Warriors are blessed, is that they don't have to put up with the big man and have to worry about the game being slowed down so much. And that's where I feel if you go Cavs in this Warriors team, I think with LeBron, LeBron would probably dominate, his opponent no matter what. But Kevin Love will be that guy. He's a great rebounder. So he's going to live on the inside. And I think you got Kyrie. Let's put it this way. Kyrie and Clay cancel each other out. Steph and LeBron cancel each other out. I think with Kevin Love, I feel pretty confident that Love would be able to be that X factor and probably get the Cavs wins over the Warriors if that was ever be the case.
Yeah, we didn't even mention Tristan Thompson's paint dominance.
Yeah,
like they would have no answer for him.
Yeah, and that's two guys that are dominant on the boards. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I would have to go with the Cavs. I mean, Rock, Shemaya, are y'all going Cavs or Warriors? I mean, that's kind of
Warriors.
He's going Warriors. Yeah. I'm assuming Rock's going to go the same thing.
It'd be hard, but given how I've seen them play, it would be close. But I'll give the edge to the Warriors. But you still never know what because of LeBron. Even though KD's not here and they may win a ring with them, the Warriors brought KD along just to beat LeBron and Rudy's boy. But I think Warriors slightly. It would be very hard and it would take an all-around effort and it would have to be on all cylinders. But I don't know. It would be an interesting matchup for sure. Go 7. I think it would be one of the best finals you probably will be able to see in years. This is what I would think, though.
Remember what Kyrie did?
Yeah, Kyrie's that X factor because I know Kevin Love is, but Kyrie's that guy where he can come out and get you 45, and then next night get you like 15.
And that dagger 3 against the Warriors. Man, that was something.
Didn't he also hit that fadeaway?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
he made a bunch of clutch plays.
He's also famous for that meme too, and that's also a factor for the game because I don't know. I think the Warriors could take them. I really think they can go 7 games and have an upset if that were to be the two teams to play each other. And I think mainly because Steph and Clay, when they're hot, you can't catch up, man. They will turn 15 points into like 45 seconds tie game.
Yeah, you're making great points, and it makes it tough for me to say that the Cavs would dominate. I don't know why, man. I guess because I used to be a really fat guy, so I'm a big man, and so I'm a big man type guy. So I'd like the big man to dominate. But I mean, I would say definitely. I think it'd be 7 games. It'd be a 7-game series.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
And real quick, the KD thing. He couldn't get the job done with Thunder, so he had to hop on the bus with Steph Curry, and that was his golden ticket to actually get a ring. That's my opinion.
No, you're not wrong.
Because you look at the Nets right now, Brooklyn Nets. I mean, what have they done? Crickets.
Apparently, KD and the Nets front office have not spoken since the last game.
I hate to do this to y'all on every show, and I don't say much, but this is a powerful moment. They're basically like Detroit Lions locker room speeches. They sound really great, but there's no rings.
there's no substance to it.
Okay, I mean, how do you not win? You have KD, Kyrie Irving, either a Ben Simmons or James Harden. They give him Harden, but I mean, then you throw in like this year they have a Seth Curry. I mean, a Patty Mills. You're talking
Aldridge Griffin.
Aldridge Griffin.
They had good players.
Claxton was a beast, man. You know,
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown's another one. I mean, how in the living F do you not win or at least get to the finals year after year?
There's circumstances.
You know, Steve Nash got to be hot, man, because he was probably like, "Oh man, we're gonna get at least 2 rings." Psych.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he was probably like, "Let's go, man! You know, I'm gonna get these rings finally." You know, he have a ring with the Warriors.
It's the curse of who? Steve Nash?
Yeah, didn't he win a ring with the Warriors?
I don't think he's ever. No,
he never won a championship.
Yeah. There's something about the Phoenix curse, right? I mean, Barkley couldn't get a ring there.
Right.
Chris Paul's obviously not going to get a ring there.
That miraculous collapse of the Phoenix Suns this postseason was just one of the most astonishing things I've seen in a while.
That was the Kendall Jenner collapse.
Yeah.
Oh God, man. Imagine if we wake up tomorrow and, you know, I don't know, Keldon says that he's dating Kendall Jenner. We'd have to renounce our fandom and go to a different team.
It'd be time to trade up in the draft. I'll tell you that.
Wow. Hey man. So real quick, we know the Heat and the Celtics going at it as of right now. It's 45-44, 8:45 left in the third quarter. We're just going to brush around this. We all feel, I think the Celtics and Heat are going to go 7 games. I mean, it has that feeling to it. Back and forth. You know, it's kind of a weird series. I think Rock's the one that mentioned it. It's kind of a weird series, man. You can't really get a grip on it. I still have the Celtics winning. I still have the Celtics going to the finals and winning the NBA title. I'm going to say, man, I think the champ actually does come out of the East this year. Guys, I mean, what do y'all think? I know some of y'all are picking the Warriors, but just something about the Eastern Conference this year that just seems built from top to bottom on most of the teams. Actually, the last 2 teams that are left, but every other team in the East was just built, man. It was built like no other.
Oh, 100%. I think, like you said, I think Celtics will pull it out, and they'll probably be a tougher opponent for the Warriors. Because these Celtics their defensive schemes what they run, and their bigs and their role players that are just hooping out of their mind. I mean, you're gonna have the Warriors having to guard Tatum, you know, Smart, Brown, Robert Williams. You know, he just came back and has been a huge presence. Grant Williams, you know, a real stretch 4 that Draymond or Wiggins got to deal with, and big Al Horford, man, he's hooping too. So I mean, and then D White, you know, although I love him and his defense and stuff, man, he's hit a 3, man. This guy was like 1 for 8, I think, last game. I was like, good Lord, man. But staying on D White, I was laughing today because I was listening to a radio show this morning with Rudy J. Or no, halftime with Rudy J and Michael Jimenez, and he was like, the one thing about Derek White, man, he's like, he needs to get new friends because how the hell is your headband that so far back on his hair? And none of his friends told him he needs to just shave his head. And I was just laughing, man. I was like, that is kind of true, man. Someone needs to just tell him to just get rid of it, man. But I think the Celtics will pull it out.
Yeah, he reminds me of Red Foo from LMFAO. If you guys remember that group.
Oh yeah,
the party rock anthem guys.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? I'm actually watching the game now, and it does, man. Holy cow.
You just can't unsee it.
Now, would y'all say that if you was living in San Antonio?
I think so.
I would.
We've got balls on this podcast.
Sweep the league or truth tellers, man.
Yeah, even on the radio, we said some crazy stuff. So I'm pretty sure we would definitely tell him. And you know what? I don't think he'd get mad. He wouldn't get mad at it.
Nah, he'd laugh. He'd laugh.
Well, it's not like he has a hairline. So
if it is, it's way back there, I guess.
Well,
I mean,
since we're talking about people's hair, at least he doesn't have to spray his hairline like LeBron James.
No, yes, I remember that. There was that thing, man, with LeBron. But isn't that LeBron like the joke about he doesn't have a 4 head, he has a 5 head? Doesn't that kind of pertain to LeBron?
haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that one. That's great.
Yeah, that was. Go back and watch All About the Benjamins.
Oh, Fivehead. I love that.
All About the
Oh my
Benjamins
gosh.
with Ice Cube and Mike Epps. It's on there where they have
amazing.
this guy that has a hairline, and he goes, when you salute, you're all yes sir, and he's like touching the back of his head.
Man, that sounds like an A-head there.
That's great.
Yeah,
man. That is
Shemaiah's
great.
right.
But,
Shemaiah's right. But no, hey, Mark, as far as the Celtics Heat goes, what's your thoughts on it? I think it's going to go 7. Which team do you think is going to pull it out?
I think the series is going to go 7, and I'm going to roll with the Heat on this one.
I think I'm the only one
Celtics.
taking the Celtics, like for real.
Yeah. Like both teams are just really good. Like you mentioned before, the East has just been stacked this season, like all across the board. But it's interesting because this Heat team, they've found ways to win. They stole a game in Boston. And this is after that kind of, I guess, confrontation that Spoelstra and Butler had. I don't know if you guys remember this.
Yeah,
some time ago, but they had a flare up during the postseason, and people thought that was going to be like, are the Heat imploding? Is this it? Is Jimmy going to quit on the team? No, we got a close series here. They came together. Spoelstra brought his guys together. They cleared the air. Very underrated organization. It's interesting because it's like San Antonio Spurs are very renowned for having just a very clean, professional, respectful organization that just knows what they're doing. Miami should be right there with them because they know how to build a team. They know how to handle transition periods from when they transition from, the big 3 Heat with LeBron to where they are now. I think it's pretty amazing to see, and all the young talent that they've been able to draft. I mean, we talk about Golden State earlier and their young talent, man. Miami, Duncan Robinson, you got Tyler Hero, you got all these Strus, you got all these guys who are stepping up as role players and young guys who are contributing. PJ Tucker's he's doing all that dirty work down there in the paint and doing defense and scoring and helping out Jimmy. And I want to see the Heat and the Warriors in the finals because I want to see how Kerr is going to game plan around Bam. I think Bam is going to be the X factor in that series. Because
and that's why I'm saying that the champ is out of the East, considering the Warriors are going to end up winning that Western Conference. I mean, unless there's just a total collapse. You've got both teams in the East that have dominant bigs. I mean, you're going, like you said, Bam Adebayo. I mean, he's going to dominate on the inside. But not only that, if you get Tyler Hero back healthy, that's another guy that they've got to contest with as well. I mean, he was playing bonkers before he got hurt. But then look at the Celtics, man. What the hell are the Warriors going to do against Horford and Williams? I mean, you're not going to be able to drive to the basket because you have Robert Williams there, who's one of the better shot blockers in the league. And Horford, we saw what happened, especially in the Bucks series. When he gets hot and he gets going, there's nothing you can do at all. So, and again, X factor for that Celtics team has been Derek White. Since that trade happened, this Celtics team has been completely on fire. They've been a whole different team. So with Marcus Smart and Derek White, 2 great perimeter defenders, that kind of hurts a little bit when it comes to Steph and Clay. So I get you guys' points, man. I really do. I understand that, with the Miami Heat. I'm going to stick with the Celtics. I'm sticking with the Mavs and Celtics. One part doesn't really look good. Rock keeps laughing at me because I'm taking, the Mavs till the end here. But
that's why he's got his mic off right now.
Yeah, because he's probably laughing so hard.
I always laugh at Rudy, man.
Exactly. He's laughing so hard.
I'm just trolling Rudy, dude.
Jeez. Well, no more laughing because we're going to save the laughing for the last segment here. Actually, a couple of laughs. We got 2 quick segments to get through before we're done here on Sweep the League. We've got Cheeseman, the Spurs Cheeseman. So, Rock, give us the Cheeseman because there was some pretty pissed off Spurs fans this week.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs Cheeseman. Dime, por favor.
Yeah, man. I mean, some of this chisme has been, kind of the reality of that we didn't get a top pick. I mean, it is what it is. But I think there's still some ballers out there, that 9, whether they trade up or not. But the one big thing Cheeseman wise I wanted to talk about was a tweet by Real Tom Petrini for Kins 5. He tweeted out, and I want to get y'all's opinion on that. He tweeted out, a match for Zach LaVine would cost $40 million per year. A match for DeAndre Ayton would run almost $33 million per year, more if it's a sign and trade. John Williams getting $25.5 per year for the next 4. Of these players in contract, which one would you want to see more on the Spurs? And the winning poll that won was DeAndre Ayton with 42%, and Collins was 26, and LaVine was 30. Out of those 3, who would you want to see on the Spurs, and how much, and who do you think would be worth the most money at that contract?
I don't want to pay LaVine. I'm going to be flat. I like Zach LaVine, but when you're talking about a player who says he wants to be the alpha male, he wants to be the go-to guy, the main option. I've never seen Zach LaVine as the main option anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when he comes out and says that, and then he's going to command 40 a year. I'm sorry, I don't want to pay LaVine that, and I don't think he is that, alpha male on the team or on any team. I haven't seen it. He was brilliant before DeMar DeRozan, but I mean, what good was that going to do for the Bulls? I mean, they weren't really competitive until DeMar DeRozan got there. So that should show you right there that, he's not going to be an alpha male. So I don't pay LaVine. John Collins, I would take a flyer on because his contract is relatively cheap at $25.5 a year. But I mean, if you need a true big man, I mean, DeAndre Ayton is probably the guy to go to at $33 million a year. As a sign and trade, you're probably going to give up Jakob Poeltl, and you're probably going to give up either 20 or 25th on this year's draft. If you're telling me I'm going to give you pick 20 or 25 and Jakob Poeltl for DeAndre Ayton, I don't even, if I hesitate 1 second to sign that deal, I'm a moron. I'm flat out moron, considering I still have my top 10 pick. I can go out and get the absolute best player available. And that's what you should do in the draft. I've heard other Spurs analysts, insiders who claim to be insiders say that, no, you have to go big no matter what. You have to go big. When you're in the top 10 and you're in the lottery, I call bullshit because you get the absolute best player available. No, you cannot reach for a position at that part of the draft. There's no reaching, especially if you're a team that is in a rebuild and you don't need help, but you need help at the big man position, yes. But you need help all over the place. You have no idea what the hell Lonnie Walker's going to do. You don't know if he's going to be a Spur or not. So if your best person is Benedict Mathurin right there, you take him. I mean, you've got to get the best player available. If Jalen Duren is there, go get Duren if he's the best player available. Because at this point, the only position you don't need is point guard technically. But back to the question, I'm going to stick with Ayton. I'm going to give you guys the floor here. I'm sticking with DeAndre Ayton. It just makes more sense. But again, if John Collins is available at that price point and you don't have to give up much, I mean, we saw how he could do. I just think you're getting a better player in DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna agree with you on the Ayton pick. I mean, Zach, like you said, he kind of gave away he wants to be a alpha scorer on a team, and I mean, props to the guy for getting healthy, but he just came off of a knee surgery too. So, there's always that little bit of, okay, a guy just coming off of an injury, he says he wants to be the top scorer. What if he overworks himself and maybe just gets himself injured again? So there is that risk too. But, of course, hoping that he has a full recovery. But I just think Ayton's going to be the best pick out of the three.
What if we say, pursuit of Zach LaVine? I mean, I don't know the exact numbers. Let's just say in the hypothetical world, but we get Zach LaVine correct, or we don't, and we trade up and we get a solid player, so best player available. Let's say Spurs see Jaden Ivey as the best player available, right? So they move up a little bit, get Jaden Ivey, like going off what Rudy said, and we go after a Mo Bamba. Would you like Mo Bamba on the team if we decided Ayton and Collins are too expensive, and we strike out on LaVine. I mean, everyone, the Spurs fans that love LaVine on the team, they're thinking LaVine's a for sure lock just because of DeJounte. But I mean, LaVine, had mentioned a couple of years ago that he's been mentioned recently too, that he likes the Lakers. You have those hypothetical trades, and he could go back to Chicago. Chicago can give him the most money. People see the Hawks. So what would y'all think if Mo Bamba came on the Spurs?
I have no problems with Mo Bamba. I like his game. Again, it's a big man that he's versatile. I love Mo Bamba. You're going to get him on the cheap. You may not even have to give up Jakob Poeltl. So that'll give you a nice, 1-2 combination where you don't have to rely on Jock Landale or even Zach Collins, who's still is still trying to get over being injured, all those years. So signing a Mo Bamba would be really good. It just depends on the price point. At this point, I don't think I don't think he's going to command a whole lot. So Mo Bamba wouldn't be a bad pick right there. I mean, say you strike out on Ayton, you get a Mo Bamba, you strike out on LaVine, you still got the top pick, at number 9. This offseason, it's kind of weird. It's make or break, but not so much as it's going to burn the barn down if you don't nail it out of the park. This is the best opportunity for the Spurs and the best one they've had in years to make a huge splash in the offseason. So that's why a lot of Spurs fans are counting on this offseason to be that one offseason where it's going to turn the franchise around. If you hear a lot of the Spurs Twitter talk, get LaVine, get Ayton, go draft this guy, this and that. You swear to God that they were talking we're going to be in title contention next year. I don't see it.
Right.
If you go and get DeAndre Ayton and Zach LaVine, you have DeJounte Murray, Keldon, all you had to give up was Jakob Poeltl. You go to number 9 and say, oh, hey, at number 9, we're able to get, a Mathurin or even a Jalen Duren, play alongside Ayton. Oh, God, this is a stacked team. Are they title contenders? I don't see them as title contenders right away. I don't see them being title contenders next year. So as much of a critical offseason this is in most Spurs fans' eyes, for me, it's important because I think with the amount of money they're going to have available and the contracts that they can actually potentially move and the assets that they currently have, this is where the actual rebuild towards a playoff spot happens. They're not far from a playoff spot. They're a few pieces away. They can actually do it in this offseason. But if you're looking for them to make splashes and be title contenders, man, you're going to have to keep looking. There's just not going to happen.
For sure. And I think the biggest thing is Spurs fans are going to be patient, man. I mean, it's going to be a process till a long time we see it, sniff another title or even, get far. And, like you keep saying, look how the Warriors landed, a Poole and a Kuminga and a Moody, they took that off here and landed those players. I mean, maybe we hit on the draft and land those type of players that are going to be franchise changing. I know some people are doubting, player at 9, he doesn't really do good for the franchise. I mean, you're still getting a solid player in our deep draft relatively, and you've seen players, outplay the draft position. It's not a given and a for sure thing every year if you draft top 4 that these players are going to pan out. I mean, people have been already doubting, said Chet Holmgren, they're always too skinny, he's going to be a bust, or, Jaden Ivey's too inconsistent. Is he a Dwayne Wade type, or is he a John Morant, or is he just, just an athletic point guard? But no one really knows what's going to happen in the draft. It's all about luck relatively. And I think they're in the perfect position at 9. Personally, I wouldn't have those 3 picks. I would probably try to move, your later pick, or even 20, and 9, and try to move it to maybe a 6 or 7 if they see a player they really like on the board. But I'm just waiting, all this talk we're going to have and everyone we're going to be pursuing or take. I just can't wait till they draft that one player. We're like, why the hell did they draft him? It's like, what the heck? Who is this guy? And it's humorous to me. I mean, I guess I have a dark sense of humor, but I mean, it's just funny to me. But we'll have to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Rocky. You could say it's basically like a meme, like a local meme at this point. What are the Spurs going to do?
It's like when the Naked Gun, when they announced the winner and everybody slaps their forehead. So that's kind of what I'm expecting everything to happen here. Hey, we got a couple of minutes left here on Sweep the League. Really fast topic. I want all you guys, the entire panel, Shamaya, Rock, Mark. I need y'all's takes on this. We got, like I said, about a minute and a half here on this latest edition of Sweep the League. NFL came out and said, Pro Bowl, we may get rid of it. We may change it up. What do you guys want to see? Just a quick question. I'm going to go first. I've seen that they may even want to do a flag football type thing. I mean, they want to get rid of the tackling. I get it. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to risk injury. But again, the Pro Bowl doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's not like you're going to get home field advantage and, this or anything like that. It doesn't mean anything. So honestly, for me, I would just love to have like the skills competition is it. Like they do that quarterback challenge that they used to have and all that stuff. Just make it a fun type thing. And that's it. If you're going to play a game, I don't know. What do you think about beer pong? Beer pong might be good.
Yes, please.
Hey, that could be a thing. But I said today in an article I read about the Pro Bowl, 3 ways they can spice it up is do a skills challenge, but have fans incorporated. You're trying to do like a lottery-like system. Have those fans that talk all that mess and crap on Twitter saying, oh, I can replace this player. Oh, I'm better than them. Have them into this contest and have them line up against them, man. One-on-one or an accuracy challenge or a 40-yard dash. Let's see if those fans who want to talk all this crap can really do it. You know how entertaining that would be? Just your average Joe just lining up, And I kind of threw a little humor in my article saying, imagine all those people that say Dak can't throw for anything. Have your average 40-year-old man, that always complains about Dak. Let's see if you can throw that far or hit targets like that and make a fool of yourself.
Are we sure that Dak can hit targets? Just asking.
Oh, come on. Come on, Rudy. Put some respect on Dak's name, man.
When he wins, I'll put respect on it. That's why I have no respect for Matt Ryan right now. So
yeah, no. But another thing is, before we go, I suggested imagine an NFL media flag football game. That would be interesting, man. Seeing Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, some of the former NFL stars that are now media members, putting them in a flag football game 7-on-7 and have the Pro Bowl players coach them. That would be cool.
Terry Bradshaw's arm would fall off.
Imagine it'll be interesting seeing Troy Aikman just throw the ball again or Tony Romo. I mean, that'd be cool, man.
Wow, Aikman versus Romo. That would settle so many debates on who was the best QB in Dallas quarterback in Dallas Cowboy history. Mark, what do you got, man? Anything to change? Did you want to change for the Pro Bowl?
Man, I love the idea of the beer pong. I just love that idea so much. Yeah, I mean, no one cares about the game. I mean, let's be honest. Like, I forgot that was a thing now for like years. It happens, and then like 3 days later, when I find out it happened, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the stomach bug you've got. It just hurts for a little bit, and then it's gone. I mean, that's all it is.
And the players don't seem like they actually want to be there. I'm sure they're having fun.
The last person to give a shit in the Pro Bowl was Sean Taylor when he nailed the hell out of that punter. Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. I mean,
come on. They don't really want to be there. The fans can tell. It's just that everything is very just relaxed and the guys are just there for the vacation. And, come on. Let's skip all that. I'm even fine if they decide not to do anything, but I like Rocky's beer pong idea. And I like the idea of the haters on Twitter confronting the players and just like trying to challenge them at different. That's so entertaining to me.
I wonder, Shamar's probably going to say that he wants them to do like a DJ contest.
Well, I would say they should get rid of the whole Pro Bowl thing because it's just as valuable as Detroit Lions Thanksgiving Day game. It's trash.
Are they even playing on Thanksgiving this year?
I hope not. I mean,
my Cowboys do.
I think people will be thankful that they don't play.
Wow. I wonder I thought I read somewhere that the Lions aren't playing on Thanksgiving.
They took them off.
Wait, Rudy. When was the last time they actually? Hey, Rudy. When was the last time they actually played on Thanksgiving Day?
Well, okay. You got me there.
They just show up and look nice.
Didn't last year they had their backup quarterback? What's his name? Or 2 years ago, and people were hyping him up.
That was his name. That was his name on the jersey. What's his name?
Backup quarterback.
Yeah, was it like David Blau? I don't remember his name, but I remember he like actually did decent. And we were like, "Oh my god, he could be a thing."
It should be fans versus the Detroit Lions. If you really suck, then you really suck.
Okay, so if this is mistaken, because it says Thanksgiving football schedule 2022, the Lions do play, but I guarantee this game will be over at the coin flip because they're going up against the Bills.
Oh
man.
You couldn't schedule Detroit against like the freaking Mean Machine or something. I mean,
I'm sorry, Shemaya. I am so sorry.
Wow.
Oh God, DeAndre Swift, poor guy. He's gonna be the only person that's balling out.
Oh man, Shemaya, it's safe to say that you're not gonna watch football that day. I'm pretty sure.
I just watch it because of misery. I like I like to watch people basically cry and say why they burn my gas money to go to this game. Tomorrow.
Oh my God.
I always thought that the Lions games were played on Thanksgiving so that they can help all of the people who ate turkey fall asleep faster. That's my theory behind the Lions on Thanksgiving.
That's actually probably true.
Well, they sleep all season long, so they get good practice.
The Lions sleeps tonight. The Lions sleeps tonight.
When someone says they're gonna win, I say stop lying.
Lion sleep tonight.
Exactly. I knew somebody would sing that.
Oh, there we go. That's a perfect close to the show, man.
God. All right, man. So, hey, we talked about Spurs cheese, man. Rock gave it to us. We'll get into we were talking about logos for the Spurs, but we'll talk about that next week. We talked about the Lions getting obliterated by the Bills, and that game hasn't even started yet. No Pro Bowl. Nobody likes a Pro Bowl. Nobody really cares. Miami, Boston going to 7. I'm the only one taking the Celtics. And the Mavs and the Warriors. Mavs are down 3-1, and I'm still a believer. I believe in that guy that they call Luka, even though it's probably going to be over in Game 5. But for Mark, stats. For Shemaya, for Rocky Garza, and Derek Gervin, who is on hiatus this week. Real quick thing. We will be out at the TMB Promotions this Saturday. First bout is at 7:30. It's at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Myself, Shemaya, and Stats, and Derek might be out there. Rocky's, it's his birthday, so he's going to get the weekend off here. So we'll be out there covering the TMB promotion. Great night of fights. If you haven't seen the press conference, it was explosive. Check it out. Search for TMP Promotions for Sweep the League, and I Am Refocused Radio. It's on there, so you can check it out there. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend of boxing. So for everybody here at Sweep the League, Rudy Campos Jr. signing off. Till next week, guys.
Later.